Hey guys, it's Robin, RsIslandCrafts, and welcome to my craft room. It's Wednesday, so this is my Whip It Wednesday video where I show you everything I've worked on in the craft room, whether I worked on it for just a little bit or I've worked long enough to actually get it finished. Once again, I'm lucky enough to have it finished this week. I don't have it here with me anymore. I did finish that crewel embroidery with the little saying and the sky and the boy and the sailboat. Let's see if I can put a picture up here. Because I was so excited to get it finished, I got it in the mail without making a short little video. Because sometimes the pictures are a little hard to see. The editing software that I use kind of makes it scan up like this, so sometimes you miss it out on it. But that's all finished and on its way back to Hawaii, of all places, so it's going to have... It might actually make it there before Christmas because it's going priority mail, so we'll see. I did get to work on my daughter's bed runner. If you've watched my Talk to Me Tuesday yesterday, you've already seen this. But I know not everybody watches all of the videos, so you might get a little repetition here, but I'm going to go ahead and talk through this project again anyway. So y'all see me make the wonky stars. I have that video. I'll put it up in the iCard for you. And I added the little 3 stripes here. And I really like the way it came out, and the more I see it, the more I'm enjoying it. I still am not very pleased with using this, but I really wanted those stars to go with the wonky stars, so it works. I went ahead and quilted it. I decided to use my walking foot to get a little bit of practice with that. And that walking foot, it's a really, really great tool, but I did learn I have to slow down. I can't keep my speed up super high because if you go too fast, it still pulls the fabric down. So when you get to a cross seam, you're going to end up with a little pucker. Now, after I figured that out, I got it mostly under control. And it was really interesting. I guess it's because these blocks are pieced, because anytime I had the puckering, it was on the front, and I never had any problems on the back. All of my seams here, where the quilting came together, I guess it's not a seam, my intersections, they were all fine. There was no puckering here at all, which is really great, because most of the time I have problems with the puckering on the back. I mean, it's better on the back where you can't see it than on the front, but even the ones that are on the front, it's not a problem. It's just a little bit of something here. But when you have it on the bed, and I don't point it out to you, you're not really going to see that because I didn't do any quilting in these sections. So these are still a little bit poofy. And I just went ahead and did on each side of the seams. So that came out really well. I like the way it did it. I love the way the quilting came out, even though I had some issues. Now, of course, some of it goes like this because I'm not really sure what I did, but I guess I didn't pin it really great. So all my seams didn't line up perfectly this way. But once again, it's fine. This is cotton batting. Once I throw it in the wash, everything's going to get all crinkly and poofy. But before I wash it, I need to get to the store and get some color catcher just in case. I'm not really sure about these reds. I've used them before, so I believe they're fine. But with all this white, I don't want to take a chance. So I'm going to throw some color catchers in it before I send it off to my daughter. I did use the iceberg fabric on the back. I used that light gray thread in the bobbin and in the top of the machine, so it kind of blends in really nice here. I could have free motioned it, but I was a little concerned. I tried, my daughter loves red, so I thought, well, red thread would look great on here, but the red really stood out a lot on these stars. And I wanted that white and the color to pop against each other. I wanted that contrast. So I didn't want to have the quilting to show up on this white. Then when I used a lighter color, it really popped on these dark squares. And I didn't want that either because I wanted these to be true to color. And I did not have the time because Christmas is really coming close, guys. It's in less than a week now. So I didn't want to just quilt each block individually or weird diagonally because I could have gone like this and done it that way. But I didn't want to do that either because when you're free motioning, if I just did stuff on the diagonal this way, I think it would be kind of obvious. I like to free motion and go across my blocks so that they blend. Like I might free motion this way and then I might free motion this way. So you really don't see where the quilting starts and stops. It just kind of all moves together. So we went with the gray thread. It's a light gray, which really just kind of blends in. You can pick it out if you're looking for it. You can see the quilting. I had to use, I cut the I cut my blocks for the back at 24 inches by the width of fabric. So the width of fabric was about 40 inches and I needed 80 inches to give myself enough room to have extra coming over the sides, you know, at the length of the bed runner. So I just put two width of fabrics by 24 by width of fabrics together and I made a little seam here. I thought about matching it up. That was my original plan, but I would have had to use 3 pieces because the repeat is such a large repeat on these icebergs that it wasn't going to work. So I just went ahead and left it there, and I can point it out to you and you guys can see, you can see that the icebergs just kind of stop. But because it's such a busy fabric that I don't think it's really going to matter that much. It just kind of looks like, you know, the iceberg just didn't come to a point over there, and that instead of coming down like this, it does just stop. So if she flips this over and has it on the back side on the top of her bed, I think she's going to be perfectly happy with the way the icebergs are all moving together. It'll be fine. I'm not worried about it at all. So I still need to get the binding on this and get it all trimmed down, but that's not a problem. I'm actually recording this video on Sunday because I have several errands I've got to run. Well, I've got a few errands and appointments I have this coming week. So I had to go ahead and film this a little bit earlier. So actually by the time you see this on Wednesday, this will actually be done and it will be in the wash and ready to go. And it was recommended to me not to use that light blue for the binding, that it would, I don't remember the way it was described, but it was going to like wash it out, or it was going to be too bright against all the colors. It just wasn't going to work. That a darker color would hold in all the blocks and hold it in like a picture frame. So I went ahead and I looked for some dark blue. I don't really have an abundance of dark blue. I have probably about 4 small, if fat quarters if I'm lucky, but mostly just scraps. The dark blues are just too similar that I think it would be too noticeable. I like a scrappy binding, but these were just really close that it really wouldn't kind of flow nicely around the quilt. So I went through my stash and I found this fabric. And I thought, well, this fabric looks really nice against this. It's not light and it's not dark. It has all the different mottled colors of blue in there like this. So I think this is going to look really good. And I'm going to go ahead and use this for my binding. I think I have about 1 yard of it, which should be more than enough to get this bound up. And if something happens and for whatever reason I don't have enough of this, maybe I can pull in some of this red and just add that 1 accent strip of red and the rest of it be this blue binding. Now, several of you were wondering, Robin, are you actually going to finish Robbie's socks in time for Christmas? And fingers crossed, I'm hoping I will, because I've actually put some good amount of time into these. Both of them are ready to, I've already done the heel, and I'm getting ready, so I've already done this part, and I'm getting ready to turn the heel to go up into the legs. With the Flegel heel, I had to add an extra 20 stitches. And bring it from 38 stitches on my needle up to 58. So I've gone ahead and done all my increases along here. This is where I was last time you saw me. And since you saw this last Wednesday, and I recorded on Tuesday, so that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and today's Sunday. So after only 4 days of work, I've gotten this far on this sock. That one needed some extra rows still to bring the foot to the right. Nope, this is the one that needed extra rows to bring the foot to the right length. And I've gotten this far. So I think in 4 days, getting that amount done is pretty good. Now I just need to go ahead and turn the heel, so I'll be decreasing my stitches back down to the original 38 on the needle. And the legs aren't going to be very long because there's really not that much yarn left here. A lot of this is going to get taken up with turning the heel, and then I don't think he's going to have the type of leg where when you fold it in half, it reaches all the way up to the toe. These are going to be a little bit shorter. Now I know he likes the longer ones, but he also doesn't like me to add any extra color. And these were sent to him as a gift for me, to me, to knit socks for him. So I only had the 2 balls, and it's just going to have to be tall enough for him, and he'll be fine. He really loves his hand knit socks, so he is not going to complain. And I triple checked on these because with the last pair of socks, I did not make his legs long enough. So both of his legs are the same, both of his feet. Both of the feet are the same length. I almost made this one short again like last time by 1 section of, or 2 sections of stitches, like 20 rows. But I caught myself in time, and that's why I've been like quadruple checking as I go along. So these are coming along nicely, and I really think that I have a couple of appointments and some waiting at the pharmacy for prescriptions and stuff, so I'm going to take this along with me everywhere I go. Once I get past the heels today, it'll just be knitting round and round and round, so I'll be able to take this to travel with, and hopefully I won't lose any time by running these errands, and I'll get his socks done. Then I'm going to probably take a break for about a month on socks because I have a few other projects to work on, and then I'm going to start right back into next Christmas's socks because it takes a while. Mostly because I don't like to knit on the socks every day all the time. There's too many other fun projects to do, right? So now I thought I'd show you what I'm going to be working on for Christmas still. I have a couple more gifts to make. These are going to be for my children. They want some of those hanging towels that I've made. I'll go ahead and pop up the link to the video up in the iCard. So I picked up 2 gray towels for them because I figure whatever fabric I decide to use for the hanging part, it's going to match, right? Because it's a gray, so it should go pretty good. I'll have to find something fun that all 3 kids will enjoy. Or I'll just use a plain color and it really won't matter. I have to actually go back and watch my video myself. I believe I get 2 towels out of each, so they will get 4 hanging towels out of this, and that'll help them rotate their towels a little bit better. Now the only other project that I've been working on, it's technically a current future project. I'm doing all the preparations now. I joined an Advent, a hand embroidery Advent. Every day during Advent you get this little itty bitty embroidery design. You can take a few minutes and stitch it out, and then by the time Christmas comes you'll have your 24 or 25 little embroideries and you can do whatever you want with them. I knew with all my projects going on this month that if I took the time out to do this, I know I would not get the bed runner. I would never have finished the embroidery, and I definitely wouldn't get Robbie's socks done. So as enjoyable as this would have been to work on every day, it's going to have to be my after Christmas, when I like to have a nice cleansing project between Christmas and New Year's and just finish a few things up. So this will be fun for that. This is from Wild Olive on Etsy. I'll go ahead and put the link down below. She had a discount on this little Advent grouping. It was like a one-day discount. I don't remember what the percentage off, but it was a really good deal. So even as full price, I think don't quote me, but I think it might only be $8, which was a good price. So I thought I'd go ahead and get it, and I'd have it for next year. They're very small. I'll show you as I'm talking about them. They're very small embroideries. So what you got is I'm just going to show you really quick. Don't copy it. You got this little embroidery design, and she gave you a color version the way she stitched it. She gives you the DMC colors to use, and then she has the right side design, and then flipped it over wrong side in case you transfer with like a transfer pencil, where you can draw on the design and you put it down and you iron it onto your fabric, or however it works, and then it's on there. But you have to do it in the reverse. So what I've been doing is I've been printing them out every day, and I've been tracing them out with a Friction pen, and then I decided I'd like to color them in because they're really small designs. You can see how small the designs are. They're not very large at all. They're about 2 inches tall, because you guys know that this is generally just an inch on everyone's finger, correct? So they're about 2 inches tall and about an inch or so wide. So I've been going ahead and tracing them out, and then I decided, since the embroidery is not going to give you a lot of color, you're mostly going to see the background fabric, that I just go ahead and color them in with some crayon. Now I have not heat set the crayon, so it's still kind of a deep, bright color, because since I use the Friction pens, if I heat set it, all of the design that I drew on there, that I traced on there, is going to disappear from the heat. Now, I could heat set it and then put it in the freezer and let the Friction ink come back, but I thought I'd just go ahead and wait until after I embroidered it. Then I'll go ahead and pop it down on a towel with some paper towels underneath it, and go ahead and heat set it and let all the extra crayon come off. So there's some really cute ones. There's several ornaments to get you started. Before you start, in my opinion, start getting to the cute stuff. Now, I really enjoyed these lights, the string of lights. So I went ahead and I did 2 of them. So yeah, I just changed my colors so that I had 2 different kinds. So like I said, I'm going to make these little drawstring pouches for an advent calendar to go with these, because the pouches are just really small, and I thought these would, I made my squares 5 inches, so then I can trim it down to whatever size I need when I make those pouches. And I just thought these would be really cute, and then I could embroider a little number on each pouch, or if I wanted to, I could write it with a Sharpie, but I'll probably embroider it since this is an embroidery project. When I was tracing and coloring this, I didn't realize what that is, but now that I see, it's a ball. So I think I'm going to go ahead and I'll probably color this in blue maybe. I thought for some strange reason, I was wondering why there was a handle back there, but that's a little ball. But yeah, all these are like that Kiwi, whatever it is that Kawai designs. So they have these little cute little faces on them. And then it's a stocking. I thought the tree was really, really pretty. I've seen a couple of people on Instagram. The hashtag for these is sending Christmas cuteness, because that's the first ornament that we got. This was the lead-in that we'd received. So sending Christmas cuteness. If you check that hashtag out on Instagram, you'll see several of them. Someone had just recently put up the tree, and they did a really cute job. So I still have to, like I said, I have to go through and embroider all these. Poinsettia, a little 'tis the season with a bow. It kind of reminds me of cat whiskers. Of course, you have to have a little drummer boy. And I really need to get some, I want to make sure I get a lot of this extra crayon off, because I want this to be a very pale pink candle with a little bit of a darker color around here. So that's kind of nice. You got your berries with the holly. And the same thing with the gingerbread man. I have him a little bit darker than necessary, but when I go ahead and I put the heat set on this, a lot of this, the extra color will come off from the crayons, that wax. And you have to have a gingerbread house, right? So I just went with a pale peach color everywhere. And then as I start adding all the colors, this, like I said, once again, the extra wax and color will come off, and all the bright colors will pop against that. Doing the roof is going to be tedious but fun, and I love these little lollipop flowers down here. And this one was Sunday, so that's today, and this was just a wreath. And what I did is, instead of drawing all the lazy daisies, I just went ahead and drew the actual sticks. I did one with the lazy daisies to remind me that all these long ones have them. And there's the cute little smiley face there. I didn't color this in because I thought with all the color, you can see how much color is going to be in here, and all the little colonial knots I'll put in, that it's going to really pop it and fill it with the green, because I'll do a couple colors of green and then little red berries all over. So that'll really pop nicely. So that's what I'm going to be working on my after time. So once again, this is Wild Olive on Etsy. It is Molly Johansson on Instagram. She has several different packages you can buy. I picked up a couple of them. There's one like for the backyard or at the pool or at the beach or something. I picked up the backyard one because it had a lawnmower and a flamingo, and I thought both of those were cute, so I wanted to go ahead and pick those up. So if you're into these cute little embroidery designs, go ahead and look her up on Etsy. Like I said, I'll put a link down in the description for her. And that's everything I've worked on this week. I know I didn't actually work on these, but I did trace them out and color them, so they do count as that, even if I only do a little bit. You guys have already seen the Christmas ornaments I've worked on. I'll go ahead and put a link up there also. And that's it. So by the time I see you guys, by the time we talk again on Whip It Wednesday, it'll be after Christmas, right? Because I believe Christmas the 25th is Tuesday. So the next time we talk again, Christmas will already have been passed. People will be starting to decide whether they take down the tree. There will still be celebrations going on because, let's face it, we already celebrate way past Christmas. So everybody be safe. Get some crafting in to keep your sanity going with all your friends and relatives that are going to be passing in and out of your life in the next week. And I'll see you guys next week. Merry Christmas. Bye.